Hi, welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 225. I looked over while I was saying and it made me feel like I was looking over there to find out what my name was. I was like, no, actually, I'm looking to see the episode. It's 225. A nice multiple of 25. If you were doing Ravelry threads.
Yep.
Which I just happen to be doing a lot of, so that's what made me think of it. So how have you been?
Well, 2 weekends have passed, so
Yeah.
I went to Vogue Knitting Live.
Mhm.
I helped my mom in her booth, which I think went really well. I'm fairly certain, just because, I don't know, when you're a vendor you hear all sorts of dish, but
Ooh.
it sounded like
You've got the inside track, huh?
Yeah, well, it sounded like some people didn't do as well as they would have at a couple other Vogue events. Like they said Vogue New York and Vogue Chicago would have been better.
Yeah.
But then hands down stitches like blows this one out of the water, etc., etc. But I don't know how much that statement could be true anymore. I mean, maybe if they had done both within the same calendar year,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was interesting. And I think my mom did well. She was novel in the sense that there weren't too many independent bag persons there. And, yeah.
It was your own fabric.
Yeah, the sheep went really well. We had Elvis the sheep printed and a bunch of the knit pearl bags. My mom didn't make so many of those and they didn't go. Like, I really liked the chipped paint. It kind of showed off how well the printer works because it looks textured but it's smooth, right? So, yeah, she did really well. She had a few people contact her about wanting to do wholesale type of things with her, and yeah, it was fun. And I enjoyed being booth babe for the day. It was fun. Got to meet a lot of different people.
I'm sure. Yeah. And then we had, I deeply apologize that I was unable to attend the zombie meetup. I really missed it, although I did appreciate Helena took kind of around the room, and the people that did post pictures. Max had kind of had a rally that weekend, like he was doing better, and I had thought briefly about trying to head up there, but I was really the, I'm his human, and I was the person that he was eating for, and so I didn't want to set back any progress or end up having to try to come back quickly. And so while I missed everybody tremendously, I'm glad that I had that weekend because we did end up losing Max, and so we got to open up the window, and it was kind of while he was rallying, so it made some really great memories as far as that he was sitting on the back of the couch still and purring and sitting next to me as I was knitting things, and so I don't regret it 100%, 2020 hindsight. At the time I may have been like, oh, it would have been nice to be up there with my knit squad, as it were. But yeah, so thank you to everyone that has sent kind words, gotten lots of Instagram comments, lots of Ravelry messages, very, very kind words. I feel like I shared him and the love that we had on this podcast with you all, and I think a lot of people felt that love and loved him. I mean, that's a unique situation. Not everybody gets to have a pet that is, known by a wider audience than those that come to their house, right? And so he was just such a sweet boy. I was trying to remember all of the wonderful, sweet, loving things that he did. And I think one of my favorites is, I called it when he tried to Spider-Man kiss me, because in Spider-Man, when Spider-Man hangs upside down and he kisses Mary Jane, Max would go upside down and, try to nuzzle me with the upside, like, you can't resist me, woman, when I'm, upside down. Yeah. Change my angle a little bit and you'll you'll give me some love. But he lived a happy, love-filled life, and thank you for sharing that love with us, and the love that you've given me and my family in this time of loss. And I hope that you continue to watch the podcast, even though Max isn't here to give that love. Chaz is doing pretty well. He lost his brother. But I think there towards the end, when Max was in pain, maybe there was a little bit of misplaced aggression. He had done some hissing at his brother back in like the June time frame. And I think they kind of parted ways then and became kind of like I'm cool not, cuddling together for warmth with you anymore, right? Yeah, it's been hard. I haven't been knitting in Megan forever for a while, because it's really hard to sit here and not have him on the back of the couch. Losing somebody that's been here for 13 years is hard, right? Like I catch myself going like, why isn't Max sitting with me? And you're like, oh, it catches you off guard. Or you see something moving in the corner of your eye and it's not Max, right? Like I have that reality slaps me in the face often. So, this weekend I spent a lot of time, I read the new Harry Potter book, the play, little review here. I feel as if they could have taken that really small play and spread it across multiple books. And I thought it would be off-putting, the play format of the dialogue back and forth. And while it did kind of slow me down early on, like once you kind of caught the flow of, okay, these are the two characters that are in this scene and they're the people that are talking to each other, like it almost became transparent to me. Like I didn't even realize that I was kind of reading through the dialogue. But yeah, I basically read that in one setting because it was not sitting here. It was sitting in my bedroom reading a book. And Max was never back in the bedroom with me, right? So yeah, it's, again, I don't want to pontificate on it too long, but he was a part of the show. And if anybody wanted to go out in this episode thread and share any fond memories of Max, I've got a video from that weekend that we took of him purring, but you really have to turn the sound up. I held it pretty close to his face, but then there's like a kid sniffling that you can hear really well, and like somebody pounding on something, and so I don't, I could share it, I guess, but so that you could hear Max purring on an infinite loop. Yeah, I between the upside down kiss and then where he kind of was almost doing CPR on me, right? Like he would put both of his paws on my chest, kind of push up, and those are my fond memories of Max.
On a happier note, I guess, Pivot is pulled through her surgery just fine. She's still got like her entire belly shaved and looks a little funny in that regard, but she's back to meowing and annoying and getting up into things she shouldn't. But so that's going well.
That's good. Good. She's a young thing.
Yeah. And then also my grandmother had surgery that same weekend and is doing great. Actually, I bet everybody in the family wishes they had made that decision earlier. It was a knee surgery and she's doing great. And then this past weekend I went to a wedding.
Yes.
My sister-in-law got
Another
married.
happy occasion.
Yeah. My husband's sister got married, and I ran around like a crazy person helping everybody as best I could, and
finished her shawl just in time for Miss Lucy to look like a butterfly while she was holding it up.
Yep, she really liked that shawl initially, like before the wedding, and then during the wedding she had to not wear the shawl, right? That was part of the thing. And then she immediately, like following the wedding, asked if she could change out of the dress. Did not want to be in that dress at all, apparently. And I don't understand that impulse.
Really? Oh, I get it, 100%. Like, it's fun to play dress up, and then it's fun to go back to, like, feeling comfortable and having a good time.
Yeah, I know that the bride was okay with it, and I was okay with it. Grandma, not so much. She was really hoping to have, pictures on the dance floor and all those things, and she didn't even really want to do the dance either. They had an activities table, which is all well and good, but then that's what they do, Like, oh, I have this big table of activities. Why would I want to go dance?
It's starting to be living room. It's starting to be the time of year. The weather isn't necessarily reflective of that, but living room dance party time. I think you might need to start breaking her in.
Could be. Yeah.
You gotta get the dance as part of their daily lives and not just at weddings, right?
Yeah. We'll work on it. She's got singing. She sings along to the music.
Yeah.
Which, nobody else does. Go Lucy. I mean, I do, but the boys don't. Yeah.
All right. We've got lots and lots of administrati. Lots and lots. So we did all the drawings.
Yeah.
And so we'll, let's just get right into it. How's about that? So we have these beautiful Brew City Adventure Time sock yarn mini skein set. There are 3, 6, 8 in here. Very pretty, very variegated colors, and a wide variety would make a great sock blanket addition. And they are a mix of their 80-20 base and their 75 merino and stellina base. 75, 25, and then 5 stellina. You don't see any? Maybe it needed circled.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
these are the non-sparklies.
No sparkles.
Oh wait, I take that back. The purple one has sparkle. So it is both. And this one down here.
Fact checker.
Sorry, there are sparkles in here.
Fact checker has verified the existence of sparkles within the mini skein set. All right, 2 through 219, and the winner was 122. And that is Bone Woman Paula, and she thought that the Big Bang Theory, which was very popular response, would make a great mini skein colorway set inspiration, and I tend to agree because you get some fun names. You could even work in like a Bazinga Blue. You could. I will give those to Amy to ship out, so contact Amy if you are the winner, Miss Paula. Amazing DK is these two beautiful colors. Amy has a smoky blue that's of the same set. It's fantastic. DK, lots of yardage, 250 yards per skein, 85% brush merino, 15% cashmere. If you were not the lucky winner and you want to get your hands on this base, they do sell it. Amazing Threads sells it in their online shop. That was 2 through 165, and the winner was number 55, and that was Irene Cat 111. And I thought maybe she was just like throwing numbers, but her birthday is January 11th. Maybe perhaps another Capricorn would be. I don't know when the cutoff is, or whether or not she prescribes to the old school horoscope or the new school horoscope, because they've added a new astrological sign. If you've not heard, have you heard?
I did. I heard, but I didn't know where the cutoff was for that.
I think my brother became it. He used to be a Capricorn like me, and I think he got moved, but I think it was all just a hubbub. I don't know if anybody's actually moving with the addition of the astrological sign. Contact me, Miss Irene Cat, and I will get those sent off to you. And then the last non-self-striping one was Sideworks Craft Room. This is Space Princess, which is a very pretty purpley, orangey pink. Megan did a fantastic job of the oranges and pinks. I feel like she did good with other colors too, but I really like her oranges and pinks. orange and pinks and reds.
Mm-hmm.
That warm end of the spectrum. And that was 2 through 158, and the winner there was number 76. That is Shiloh, Slipping in Between. So contact Amy for that one, Miss Shiloh. And I forgot to mention that Irene had a really pretty cowl in there. It's a nice transition from this green to color work in between and purple. It was the Katukio cowl.
Okay.
If you want to go out to hers was number 55. She's got the link in there, but it was like clickbait. I clicked. I was like, ooh, what color work pattern did she choose? And it was a cowl. It was really nice. Okay. And then the self-striping for October was 2 through 1569, and as we are wont to do, we have first come, first serve. I had the fabulous Amber, Yarn Hoarder on Instagram, sent these 2 fabulous self-stripings, so Super Genius, which I thought coordinated better with the October bag, or Glory. But if you are the first person to contact with yarn, you can say your choice of one of these 2 colors. And thank you to Miss Amber. She's got a brand new podcast out there, the Yarn Hoarder podcast, and she's giving away a kit that I have for the Just Do It shop.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if she's drawn for that yet, but if not, go out to her threads and enter. I believe you just say what your favorite duet is.
Oh, fun.
Do you have a favorite duet?
I
think I'm
think about it a little bit.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of on the fence. I really like Grease at the end. That's a duet, right? Or is that more of like a 2 main singers and a chorus? Anyway. You want to know if you won a self-striping skein of yarn, don't you? You don't care about the duet. So again, bag, yarn, pattern, contact with your preference, 2 through 1569, and the winners were, and we got a wide range here, so 1542, 286, and 25. So clear back in January, that 25. 1542 is a Texas yarn, Allison. 286 is W. James, so Wendy James, I'm guessing. And 25 was Lanois, Lanois. I never know how to pronounce that OIS. Lanois? Anyway, Danny. First come, first serve. Fabulous October bag from the Silver Shed USA, and thank you to Amber who donated these 2 self-stripings.
So we're giving away 3 prizes: yarn, bag, and pattern. But you can choose what you want for the yarn.
If you're the first person to say Yarn Glory or Yarn Super Genius. Boom. And then the other one will be an upcoming drawing. Because that's how we roll. That's how we roll, yo. And that's a contact me. Because that just makes sense. Because one of the pattern prize is mine. And then I wanted to briefly show off. We've got, not only do we have the KL going in November and December here. It feels like November is getting away from us. It's going to be Thanksgiving next week already. Have they already had Canadian Thanksgiving? Isn't it always before us? They did. Okay. I completely missed it. I've been in La La Land apparently. So the Silver Shed USA sent us, I'm guessing this is the December, and this one is the Thanksgiving November-y one. Some fun acorn harvest, fall pumpkin, and some geometric kind of snowflakey print, right? And then whilst you were in the I'm all over the road. I was talking about our KAL there for a second, wasn't I?
Yeah, you did. So these were given to us at Vogue Knitting Live.
Yep.
So we will introduce these into future ones. The sock bags are probably for the self-striping sock yarn. This is self-striping sock yarn.
Now, a Night Owl Fibers, and this is Holly Jolly.
Yep. They are out of Texas, and the purveyor is 19 years old.
Wow.
So how cool is that?
Yes.
A young woman starting her own business.
Making a go at it.
Yeah,
early
and then, they will have a coupon code for us.
Yep. So I'm guessing that if we want to give this a full month, we'll say this is going to be a December drawing.
Yeah.
And the coupon code is good till the end of December? No, you don't
Checking.
know. Okay.
Checking.
Please stand by. And then you can talk about that. You got that as well.
Okay.
Coupon code. Zombies 10. I saw it.
Yes, it is Zombies 10. It doesn't say how far it goes. As
When
far
the
as
expiration.
when it expires, but it's for 10% off of any purchase $23 and up. But I think most of her skeins, she has variegated as well as self-striping, reach that dollar amount. So you will have no trouble there.
Night Owl Fibers. Yeah, thank you. Love
Super
me a
cute.
little gobstopper holly jolly ball.
Yes, I asked her about that, and she's like, "Well, I do a lot of Netflixing."
As you, yeah.
As she winds them.
Yep.
But yes, so and then 3 Irish girls had donated these 2 lovely skeins to potentially be a kit for our most recent KL.
Because it's 2 colors.
Yes. We could decide to break these up into 2 littles for the sock pattern and then give away 2. Or we could give them both away and then they'd be good for the shawl. But whatever we decide, they will be wonderful and lovely prices.
So, and then I think we've got a kit to give away for that KAL, and then, so we'll probably end up drawing at least 2 winners. One will be a kit, and if you've already won the kit, then you would get a birthday kit. If you already ordered a birthday kit and you knit it out of the birthday kit yarn, you would get some 3 Irish Girls Wonderfulness. This is their Adorn Luxe, which I absolutely love, and this color, I need a garment in this color.
Yes, they told me I had to take the Prince colorways. So this one's Baby I'm a Star, and then this one is Summer Magic. I'm not sure if Summer Magic is from their Prince collection, but they had a lot of beautiful Prince, very purple stuff. Yeah, and so there was definitely one that was more raspberry colored, and it was Raspberry Beret. They had a lot of really cool colors. And I take that back. I'm not sure if it was that exact, but it reminded me of the song Raspberry Beret. Might have been like Secondhand Store or something on some other name, but very cool. And so we will have those, but that's a future drawing.
Yep, KL ends at the end of December, so we'll have it all figured out by the end of that. But it's always good to flash the goods to entice people. So that's those are our 2 patterns. Your pattern is the Dashing Duos, which is the fun coordinating heel and toe with some stripiness sock, do-it-yourself stripiness sock.
Yes.
And DIY, as you might say, and my Just Duet shawl, which would takes a skein and a half, and you could easily make it 2 skeins if you wanted a bigger shawl. Just slap a bigger edging on it. And it gets pretty big. It's a pretty big shawl with that 1.5, but and that's a lot of administrating.
Oh my, yes. Are we done?
Are we there yet?
So for finished objects, is that where we are?
I believe that is the next portion of the podcast.
Okay. So I might have shown these because they were done, but they had ends to weave in. I'm not sure, but the ends are woven in, so I'm going to show them again. So I got a hat. There were a lot of ends, man.
I'm just laughing because it seems like double accounting to me, Amy. Like, let's just call this. I didn't have my socks ends woven in last time, but I'm going to show them again this time and count them as an FO because. But also it's a stretch memory-wise because it's been a while since we podcasted.
It is.
So I'll give you a pass.
Okay.
I'll give you a pass.
I blocked the shawl that was done with ends not woven in, and now it is woven in and blocked, so you can see how pretty it is. You can see the unusual shape. You make the 2 triangles and then you join them together in the center, working to the small point. It was fun. I did not enjoy weaving in the gobs and gobs of ends on it, but it's definitely a different shape, and I enjoyed working the pattern as, yeah, I enjoyed the process. Just at the end, the finish line was torturous. But that's the way it is with just about anything. Like I still have those Franken socks that the ends are still hanging out in those.
If you don't like to weave in ends, finishing things can be kind of a mixed bag.
Well, you know, when it's just one color and you don't have to cut them a lot, or 2 colors where you have to cut them a lot, it's like, oh yeah, 1, 2, 4 ends, sure. This was like 40.
There's also this thing that I've heard of, I don't know, but you could weave in ends as you go. You like to do it after you block, right?
Well, I do, and then also this shawl was problematic for me in a few ways. Like when I was making it, I'd mess up a little bit, and so sometimes having those ends woven in would have been problematic. But and then the shawl that was a project in speed, and I don't remember this one. It's like Solace. It's listed in my
Celeste something.
Yeah. And it was a free pattern. And then that designer has a lot of really beautiful for pay patterns as well. She specializes in this, you know, open, flowery looking lace. I liked it. It was clear.
I think the last time you talked about it, you had to suspend disbelief that it was going to actually look like something other than a bunch of holes, though, and I would say that it did.
Yeah, it in the early goings, it wasn't as like this blob up here, we'll say, didn't look like those pretty little leaves in there. It looked like, spaghetti. And I'm used to more geometric separation of things, and these are staggered in a way that they don't give you as much of that geometric.
You're slaying me with that color.
I know, right?
I love that color.
And I have some of the cut pieces of sash from Lucy's dress, and that was the color, man. So it looked amazing. And
what is the yarn again?
This is Shibui.
You got it at the LYS.
Yes, at the local yarn store.
Hank and Pearls, celebrating 5 years. Happy birthday to them.
That's right. Excellent. They were at Vogue Knitting Live as well. They have a lot of kits, or they had a lot of kits at the show. I'm assuming they still have those kits. But they're not an LYS that's online just yet. So kind of need to be nearby to get a hold of those. But super cute. And I'm sure that they would sell them over the phone if you wanted to. But yeah, they had Sweet Georgia yarn kits and knitted wit kits. So, really nice.
Good stuff.
So there's that, and that's it.
Okay.
And the only legit finished object is this shawl.
You don't have to put any asterisks for me. I was just kind of laughing. Just inside I was laughing a little bit, and maybe outside a little bit too.
Well, you know, on that, the shawl, the blocking and the weaving in ends made all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah, and you know, there are some people that prescribe to the set out some M&Ms, and every time you weave in an end, you get an M&M thing. So maybe if you get to weave in ends and then come show it again, that's another. There
you go.
Ding ding. Like, good on you, Amy.
Yeah, I haven't taken FO pictures of the shawl or hat yet. So that's gonna
You
be.
forget about it when you're in like the wonderfulness that is all of the sunlight in the summer before daylight savings time. But I come home from work now and I need to take finished object photos. It's dark.
Yeah, they're kind of depressing. Yeah, get a lot of shade on them.
I had before I kind of hit my knitting slump, I finished a cowl, my colorwork cowl out of the Grilodient, which was a massive undertaking. I haven't weighed it yet, but it ended. I just kept on going like, oh, I can put another repeat. You know, it's like one of those things that you're like, I'm not ready to Kitchener 200 stitches. You're like, because it's a big tube and you just Kitchener the front to the end after you twizzle it a little bit so things line up, and I just kept on throwing more repeats in there, right? Like, oh, I don't want to Kitchener, I'll throw a couple more. You can always zhuzh it, right? Like longer is better. Like short is bad. Like you don't want to have to block it within an inch of his life to get it twice around your neck, right? I mean, I don't want it dragging on the ground, but anyway. So I finished that. Yeah, I totally hear where that went, and I'm just moving on along. I also, other than my thumbs on the matching color work mittens with the Great White Bale yarn with the Pantone Color of the Year pink, I've wrapped that up. So also another design that cannot be seen. I'm super interesting. I'm crying about my cat. I can't show you any of the knitting that I accomplished, and now I'm not knitting. But the oh, and then I test knit some socks the two color for Corey that can't be seen on air. I did finish my Rhinebeck. Did I finish these the last time? They were still sitting out. I may have already shown you these. Maybe. I don't get double points. I'll just hide them away. But Rhinebeck, no, I was still working on them.
Were you? Okay. It was a couple weeks ago.
I swear. Because I had just taken the picture out in the leaves when you were at Vogue Knitting Live. So if I may have finished it right before you went.
Okay.
Anyway. Really love this Rhinebeck Twilight colorway. It really sang with the leaves, and I really like this BFL. I know that Emily, which is, why can't I think of the Sophie's Toes, just had an update with some of those magic cake balls. We're just calling my name, but I have to walk away.
Yeah, and Emily still needs to tell me what to spin for her.
Yes. And then, yeah. So I literally have nothing to show if that's a fake FO and not a real one.
Or if any of her friends are watching, just tell me what colors to choose and I'll just start going.
I have a hoe, I guess. I finished one sock. So I've been, again, I was watching Amber, and she's got like, I swear, 30 pairs of socks on the needles for her husband alone. So it made me feel like an inadequate wife. Like, I really should knit my husband a pair of socks. When's the last time it was the Mr. Zombie socks, and it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
But I was feeling like I should knit my husband a pair. Don't ask. But this is the Spartacus, her holiday club, which was the non-traditional holidays, and this was Puppy Love. So August of 2014, and Puppy Love was the colorway, and these are gonna go really well with his dress socks, or his dress pants, with a little bit of black in there. He's like, I don't wear a lot of brown pants. I was like, it's got black. You could wear it with brown or with black pants. So, yep. And wanted to get another repeat in there, so it ended up being a little longer than...
He likes tall socks.
He does. He's a big fan of tall socks, and it's apparent, right? Like, I don't have a whole lot. But, yeah. And I've been a Nanny Swimo fail. I've not only was I going to take on trying to design something, but I just not been in the headspace to design or to take on a large project. So
yeah, we have been all over the place.
mm-hmm.
Life.
So yeah,
forever and always.
Sorry if you're tired of hearing us. There are happy, good things going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes life it sneaks up on you,
mm-hmm.
and it reminds you of how good you had it for a while, right?
Yep.
So
I'm still working on that cowl with the amazing DK. I just haven't been back to it because of the shawl and Nanny Swimo and right? So I will get back to it. I am really enjoying working with this. It's very smooshy, as we had seen from the giveaway.
Love the tones.
Yeah, very nice color choices. And they were also at Vogue Knitting Live. Had a booth there. Amazing threads. I didn't get anybody recognizing me or talking to me from their booth, so I don't know if I was incognito somehow because you weren't next to me.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know. They gave that yarn to the podcast, so I assume they would know who I am, but that's all right. I had plenty.
I have been in there many times, so maybe the only recognition is because I'd been into the shop for the shop hop.
True.
And yeah.
So I'm still working on my second sock from the Dashing Duos, because I knitted up in a variegated, and then I knitted up in our actual, and then ran out of time to get the second one done. So I finished up the pattern, having knit the one,
and they're matching, right? It's not like one is right mirrored.
Exactly. No. Yeah. There was not going to be anything different, so I did start the cuff and do a few rows using the pattern, and then kind of went, okay. I had a few test knitters and readers, so it should be good, but we'll try to fix it if something goes wrong, but I'm liking it, and I'm still working on finishing the ones in our colors, because again, I knit the sock a couple times, just not in the colors. From the kit.
Yeah, my bag had that spun right round in it, and I cast on the design for that and ended up ripping it out because A, I loved the color so much, but B, the way that the variegated matched perfectly, that green, it was looking like it was accidentally striping rather than purposely. So yeah, I was like, okay, I got to do something else. And I was really enjoying that. What made me think of it is I was really enjoying the bag. When with the two colors, because I would just go like this and it would go.
I've seen a lot of people with it pictured like this, but I really like to tuck them in.
Well,
like
mine pop out when when I'm pulling the yarn out.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So maybe that's just an actual in action photo versus like I'm carrying it around type photo.
True, very true, but still very functional.
Loved it. Loved it while I was working on it and ripping and redoing and whatnot, that they were staying separated. They weren't becoming helplessly, unintentionally woven.
So my other sock is a sock for my daughter, and I worked on it a little bit today, so I counted it in my whips that I'm currently working on. I'm just kind of making up a little pattern along one side of the sock as I go. I'm liking texture lately, so this is just another little textured motif that's going into a normal sock. And this is a Dancing Dog Dye Works color, something named after a fish, but I can't remember, like a koi fish, but a very specific breed of fish, so I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody will help me. Memory. And then Nanny Swimo, I don't know that I'll finish. The flat color work is going a lot slower than I thought it would. And it is frustrating trying to get your tensions right. And there's long floats in my pattern, so it's even worse trying to get tension right in long floats. So yeah, it's going real slow. This is a strange pattern as well because it's raglan that you're sewing together. to me, I'm like, well, raglan makes more sense. Why wouldn't we just go top down in the round? And yeah, so I would be like re-engineering this thing, I think, if I were to ever try something like this again.
Where's the pattern out of?
It's a Rowan.
Okay.
It was for their hemp tweed, so here's the cover. I liked a lot of the patterns in there, and they're really pretty, but yeah, when you get down to reading the construction, you're like, what? Okay. And I guess I just trusted that, oh, it must not be that hard, or there must be a reason, and I kept looking at the pictures, and I'm like, oh, this is sewn together. Why is this sewn together? It's raglan. So there is some kind of odd shaping. It's not it's not a straight. So, and maybe there was some confusion in their mind about switching up the patterning as you go, because at the seams you would have to then restart a different pattern, right? It wouldn't just continue in the same pattern. It would have to be a new pattern. And again, it's charted in the book, so you'd think like, oh, well, you just have sections of the charting.
And I think that rather than writing all of that up, sometimes it's easier to just do it in pieces for succinctness in a book, which is kind of, I think that I'm struggling with that in looking to publish a book, right? Like, I want things to be really well spelled out and in the way in which I would want to knit it, right? Like from the top down and whatever. And for publishing purposes, a pattern that's piecework and you just sew it together is probably a lot easier to write up. Because with sizing changes and whatever, if you were doing it in the round, it would be, and while you're doing that, you're also doing this, and yeah,
but it definitely feels like the top piece will be about the same on the sleeves as it is in the rest, just because the way I hold it up, I'm like, well, it's gonna have to be pretty big to get all the way from here to that point in the back. So still a lot of knitting to go, so I don't think that this is going to go as fast as I thought, and I probably won't be finishing it before the end of the month, but I will make a good amount of the way there, and I won't put it aside and give up. I will keep going on just the sweater, unless, like, I'm only working on this at night. It's not traveling a lot with me, but now I'm restarting the stockinette, the easy part. I could probably have it travel with me until I get back to the color work. But yeah, I hope that, once I get to the sleeves, I will have this thing down and mastered, and I won't be quite so slow at it. But right now, it's like, oh, this is just the slowest type of knitting.
Womp womp. I have a lot of needle adjacent projects, but whereas I've been slacking on knitting and having things to be able to show, I have really excelled at buying. So we should probably get to that.
Oh yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, work in progress on the other sock there, and then I still have quite a bit left of this fun green. So the test knit that I did for the design that's going to be in the book was out of these two colors. Still have quite a bit. So thinking about making maybe some proper Rose City or Rose City rollers from the top down, and do some color work on the heel and the toes. Isn't that what the Rose City rollers are? But again, this is Beanstalk and Punk Rock highlights from Leading Men Fiber Arts. Socks that I test knit out of those turned out fantabulous. I really like the feel of them. And those really do a good juxtaposition. And then if I were to get to just not be able to resist casting on a Nanny Spimo sweater, I love this new, it's kind of like I think she describes it as like a fisherman's, a modern take on a classic fisherman's sweater. Worked from the top down, and I'm saying Clio. It's not with an E, it's an I-O, C-L-I-O. But it's a new pattern by Elizabeth Doherty. We have reviewed her top-down set-in sleeves, and I've knit a lot of her garments and have really liked the specificity of the patterns. And she's smart about things, right? Like, you can tell that she's put thought into the design to try to make it not only easy to write up but also easy to knit, right? Like I have no doubt that this motif is going to, you know, like the number of rows in that motif is going to jive with the cables on the side. Like I've come to associate that kind of quality with Elizabeth. And so there's a cropped and a long version, and it's with DK weight yarn, and so I'm kind of liking the wide necks as of late. I don't know why. It's got a kind of wider neck with like a pronounced collar, so it kind of shows off your wider shoulders. And I would probably, and it's got a split hem, and I would probably end up doing it. I've recently gotten some Woolmize DK, or I could go really deep stash, but it's a super cute pattern. Go check it out. It's in the Ravelry Hot right now, and she posted it on Instagram, and I was like, I love it so much.
Yeah, I actually queued a few Brooklyn Tweed patterns from their winter collection. There was one, what was it called? But it's basically a sporty like design one, and it's got color blocks around here, and I actually have a commercially made sweater that it reminds me of, but I was like, oh, I have some sport weight, and it's written for fingering, but I have some sport weight where I think I have enough to do that, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to try it. And so I queued it to see if like the inspiration to mess with that pattern happens in the new year. I don't know. It's more about working with the yarn, and I thought that pattern might be okay to play with, but I don't know.
Yeah, actually the photo that I posted, and this is all just very tying and very nicely to me again, and I'm sorry to keep bringing up Max, but was of my Maris that was out of that purple, that kind of Merlot-y color, and that's by Elizabeth. So anyway, sometimes those coincidences, I can't let them go by without it being said. All right,
so
purchases.
I did a lot of shopping. Now you did less.
I did. Mine were all online retail therapy. So what I said on Instagram was, when it feels like your world is falling apart and you're a knitter, you go out and you buy beautiful yarn and you set out to mend it, and that's what I've been hoping to do.
So I actually won this book at Vogue Knitting Live by finding the little owlie that I posted on Instagram amongst the vendors. So I found it at Stacy of Be Lighted's booth.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Stacy, I gotta know. And so I won the book. I had a choice between a kit and a book, and I was like, I don't have any of her books. I bought one digitally, but not a physical book. So I was excited to have a physical book with all the really cute pictures in it. And I want to knit some stuff like dolphins and just so many cute things.
Minimal ends to weave in, and like a night projects, right?
Yes, exactly. There's a circus theme and the underwater theme and a sky theme. So cute. I'm trying to see if there is anything else in here that, like donut. Well, I guess that's on the cover. Donut. Anyway, won that book, so I'm excited to try that. Let's see. I got 3 Irish Girls. I think that you had brought this home in some sort of kit form with many other skeins that went with it. But
it was a dotted raised Stephen B. shawl kit.
Okay. But this is called Day Glow, and I loved the way the dye broke in that one, and this is it. This is the exact skein that I admired, and I found it, and so I had paired it with something else to try and do it for our giveaway, but then they found that combo, which I was like, okay, you win. and bought this one for myself.
And rightly they should.
Yeah. Obviously.
They are
and then
color masters.
Going on this theme, I got some Gritting Gargoyle. Lene was really lovely. She on the second day she had like a coupon code kind of thing where if you knew the secret word you got a % off.
I saw that on Instagram.
So I put these three lovely neutrals together, and I'm sure they would make a wonderful like Melanie Berg shawl or something like that that's just big and glorious, or a 3-color sweater. They're yak. So this is her Khaleesi base, and it's merino yak nylon, $25 with the retail on this, and then I got a discount. So, wow, just beautiful stuff and reasonably priced and beautiful.
Yeah, I got a blue, that cobalt blue, and I think a gray at Stitches. That was when she premiered that base, and I felt it was a great deal, and I love the way that it takes the dye.
So then I also visited Night Owl Fibers. This is the Sherlock Holmes. So like it's actually the Watson scarf colors that as I see it from the movie. Well, yeah, the movie and the show, and I fell in love with that, and I couldn't not take it home. So again, this Night Owl Fibers out of Texas. And then, Kirsty Cat was the booth right next to us, and I needed these Entwives to come home with me in the superwash merino. She had it in BFL as well, but I just liked the way the colors looked in the other base. So this is just 100% superwash merino, and again, Entwives, also fairly reasonably priced at $22.
Yeah, I liked their booth. That was where I got the Prince colorway, right? Raspberry.
Oh, okay.
I think yeah.
So then, Stunning String Studios was another really nice booth to visit in person. I hadn't been there to any of their in-person ones. Definitely got to see all the kits and the vacillate. She knew who I was and had talked to me about different things with you, like your conversion into a sweater of the vacillate and different things. So I really wanted to try their sporty base and fell in love with this really pretty color. This is stained glass. And then the Enchanted Forest is the just the 25% nylon merino base. And I guess I was thinking about my family, like, oh, what could I need to get like a really pretty green for my, my son or my husband, and really I don't know that my family really likes sport weight socks, but I don't mind them, so I was thinking, ooh, quick and easy socks.
Yeah.
Like when they zoom.
Yeah, I like their color selection in the Stunning String booth. They were at Stitches for the first time this year, and it was great to get to talk to her about the vacillate, and then also, like you said, see all those color combinations kitted up and then knitted up, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
And lots of beautiful shawls.
Yeah, it is a booth to behold. And then I also got this beater. It's like one of those really tiny crochet hooks. On a hook, so you can attach it to your bag with a Darth Vader on it. I just thought, like, oh, I don't know how many times I misplaced that tiny crochet hook when I was beating that one shawl for Sarah, and this would have saved me a lot of headaches. So
while you do it, you have to be like, dun, 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 dun.
And then I saw yet another really pretty jewel enclosure design on their little button kind, and thought that I would go ahead and take that home from Stacy's booth. I think I also had a little hand felted gnome somewhere. Oh no. Well,
maybe it went to live.
Yeah.
With the other gnomes.
I don't know. I don't know. It had a little, oh, here he is. So he's got a little clip, so you can clip into your tree or whatever. It's probably where he's going to go. He's on my tree. A little hand felted.
Was that from Stacy's booth as well?
Yep. It says Be Lighted 16 on it, so somebody made it with their hands. They had sheep and all sorts of like bigger gnomes and interesting things there too. Let's see, and then that's it for purchases besides this one. at Vogue Knitting Live. So we got a 21 color slouch hat. This is the Blue Sky Fibers. I just really like the squishiness of it. And on the final day, because I just really didn't think I needed another hat, and I kept talking myself out of it. And then my mom said, "Oh, I'd take that hat." So I was like, "Okay, done. Like, I can play with the yarn and have fun knitting up the hat, and then I can just give it to you."
And who's gonna weave in all those ends?
They might get magic knotted. I don't know. Sorry. I'm thinking magic knot might happen here.
Okay. Because that seems like a lot of ends.
Yeah, 21 times 2.
Yeah,
a lot. But anyway, they had these kits all over the place. Such a sight to behold in large quantities, right? You know, you just see like 100 of them hanging from like a tree-like rack, and you're just like, oh, that's so pretty. And I just kept going and going and going. But the booth right next door to my mom's was the local Minnesota. Oh no, we met her at Jeanette's retreat. The owner.
An OIS?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Well, if I think of it, we'll stick it in the notes. But very nice neighbors at the show, and scooped that up at the last minute. And then before I even made it to Vogue Knitting Live, there was a sale at the LYS on or maybe we already talked about this. Maybe I didn't show it, didn't bring it, but the LYS had little chocolates, and you could unwrap them, and I got 30% off.
You mentioned that, but I don't know that you showed the yarn.
So I got this one, Knitted Wit, Victory Fingering, very cool. Mm-hmm. It's rock candy black, and it's black and white for my daughter, because she asked for black and white, and I had none in my stash. So next time I make socks for her, they can be black and white.
You will be prepared.
And then I really like this Zoe. I made 2 sweaters out of it last year, and with 30% off, I was like, I can make another one.
It's a really pretty blue.
So yeah, I had this really beautiful navyish blue. Let's see.
It's just one of those that has a dye lot
number. Yeah, dye lot number. Wah wah. But beautiful, dark blue. And I was like, oh, I like how those knit up, and I liked how they washed up, and I will have another one. Oh, my goodness. So a couple, last but not least, I feel like we've been talking forever. So last but not least, double knitting. So there's these beautiful blue morpho butterfly patterns. So I'll just show you that she had them all knit up in her booth with the kits, and the kits had Sun Valley fibers in it. So, and this is the cashmere blend. So I just kept looking at those and squishing the finished double knits, and our friend Christy Peterson, she does a lot of her patterns, this girl's patterns, and
Tanya?
Yeah, Tanya Richter. Kept trying to put the H in there, and it's in there, just don't say it. Anyway, she was very fun, and I kept coming back to the booth every day, just like, oh, I really want that, and then the next, oh, I really want that. It just took me 3 days to decide, but on the final day, I was like, I need that.
That's how those multiple day shopping experiences go. You kind of hem and haw about it, and then if it's still with you on that 3rd day, you're like, well, I gotta give it up.
But that's another thing that it's like, well, as soon as the calendar rolls over, I'm gonna double knit, man. That's gonna be a New Year's resolution for me. I'm gonna double knit that scarf. And she also does a shawl that's triangular that has the full wingspan. Super cool. But then something that I made my mom do for me, and she had them up for pre-order in her booth, was a advent calendar.
Fun.
So this is my advent calendar that I got from my mom. And the thing that I thought was cool is that you would the construction paper loops that you do, you can just pop them on. And then, you with succession the days up.
What have goodies in them?
These have yarny goodies in them. Yep. That I purchased from Dreams and Fiber.
Okay.
So, and basically, I do want to think about getting like wooden tags sewn into them so that they say 1, 2, 3 all the way down to 24, just so that you know which day you're taking off, because you can also rearrange these things. Because of the snaps, you can rearrange them to be like diamond, or you can have them in a grid. So super cool. So it's just
very snappy.
Yes, very snappy. But for right now, I just liked the idea of them being like the construct. You can take them off.
Yep.
And watch them go down in number as you get closer to Christmas. So cool. So that is my Yarny Advent calendar. Awesome. And they're big enough for a gift card and tea and all sorts of little
candy,
chocolates and whatever you wanted to put into them. Typical Advent calendar size. So just roll it up for storage. And
where is it going to go in your house?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at how tall it is.
Have it hanging from the stairs?
Yeah, I might have to. Or I might have to grid it. But there's a couple places. They're near the kitchen. Or, on the stairs. I don't know. Could be a lot of places. But you also have purchases. So
I do.
On to you, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I was just letting you revel, because you said that you don't often go, or maybe I said you don't often go crazy.
That's true. That did feel a little nutso.
Yeah.
Staring at it right now, it's like, woo! I need to not order any more yarn, because I know that I was tempted by some of the things you showed.
Yeah. I wanted to briefly mention the fabulous Katie, ND, AK Katie, sent me this Marsala Chai colorway.
Okay.
It's very foresty, and she said it made her think of Melly, and it is of the BFL that Pivot absolutely loves to eat in the Huckleberry Knits. So thank you so much. It arrived during a very tough time, and so it was well timed. It was in the works well before the tough time occurred, but it arrived at just the right time. So sometimes things work out that way. And then I was super enabled by the Oh Christmas Tree colorway from Leading Men Fiber Arts. I particularly love the way that it dyed up on the BFL, which is their spotlight base. And I keep telling myself, because I wanted the Stranger Things one as well. I can't remember the upside down. I kept on telling myself, well, I'll get the year in review. And I don't need to buy it now. But then I was like, well, I love this one so much, I won't care if I get two. If I have two of them. Particularly, like, I might end up getting it, I don't know, maybe the year in review this year I'll get on the, won't get on the Showstopper base, I'll get it on this Spotlight base, because I really like the greens on this. Like, the greens really pow on this BFL. And then I thought hat. Like, that would make a really great Oh Christmas Tree hat. Because I have been doing some trying to coordinate, I wanted a more solid / tonal to go with some of the, I'm starting to accumulate quite the Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper, because I've got the year in review from last year, and then every time I see them, it seems like I grab some. So this is Emerald, again, really loving the greens. And this is their soliloquy base. It's which is BFL 100% superwash BFL, 657 yards. I have a very speckltastic skein that I was thinking about pairing with it. So these were kind of like fill in and coordinate with other, although they are very pretty together, but they're different bases, and I kind of have a thing about that. He's like, you mean you didn't mean to give this to me?
Well, that's the one that was tempting me when you posted. I would, like, again, like, I have so much sock yarn. Like, this time I was thinking, like, oh, a hat or a stuffy. You know, like, that would be a really cute.
Well, they captured it. I mean, this is my Charlie Brown Christmas tree with the sparkle lights and the different ornaments, right? I feel like there's the undertone of green, and then there's the pops of the
like a rainbow of color in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Very pretty.
Yes. And then I have been eyeballing this Up in Yarns. I'm being very cognizant. Stay, Jazzy, stay. Up in Yarns for quite a while, and I've had carts filled, and then she's had updates, and then I've, then they slowly matriculate out, and I really wanted this Zombies Love Brainbows. Because it's rainbow-tastic, and I have a hard time walking away from a rainbow, but also speckly, and that kind of darker overwash. Mm-hmm. So I really like it.
It's pretty.
It is. It's really pretty.
Sparkly.
Yes. Which is apparently the new Megan. I don't know. I've gotten more sparkle has come into my stash in the last few months than has ever have. So, and then I got that again, thinking the same thing. Oh, DK, I'll knit a hat out of it. And I really like this one too. I like the way that it came out, the sparkles on that. I won't hand it to Amy because she's making noises like she might not give it back again. Yeah. You're like, well, she's distracted by the Zombies Love Rainbows. So yeah, I kind of went like fingering hat and then a hat on those two because I really love them. This is her high twist MCN, I believe. Superwash, yep, 80-10-10 in the scaly tail. So she's got a mermaid, and she's got like full skeins of these whole. So like she's got like the mermaid one, and she's got the Stranger Things one, Stranger Things. Right? Yeah. And it's just so tempting. You're like, oh, I love everything about that. But then you're like, oh, it's like 8 skeins. Or I can't even remember how many skeins of yarn are in the collection. She's got a Christmas one as well that would be coming into my life, right? Like, if you love it, you really love it, and you want it. But at the same time, I was like, well, scaly tail is a lot of my colors and a lot of my mom's colors. So I was thinking that might be a Christmas present. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening, although I don't think she normally gets to this to the end of the show. I also loved the speckltastic and the green, almost iridescent in the Enchanted Forest. Mm-hmm. And this is her 75 merino nylon base. Yeah, I went a little crazy. And then this one not only tugged on my heartstrings, but also I just absolutely love the colors. This one is called Always, and this is from her Harry Potter series. And it's about what Snape says about Harry Potter's mom. Like, Lily, after all these years, and he says, always. So I almost got a sweater quantity of this, and I was like, stop, Megan. One skein will do, Megan. But you don't know?
It's beautiful.
It is. It's super beautiful. So yeah, go check them out and save me from myself up in Europe. And yeah, my bins are overflowing. I have to knit Christmas presents. I have to get back to knitting Christmas presents so that my bins will close again.
Right.
Well, that big yarn baby I brought back from.
Take that one off.
But then your bins won't close.
Or rainbows.
But then your bins won't close, Amy.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yes. They did. They came. They made me smile. They helped me start mending my my crazy unraveling life. So we have selections made, and we'll be sending out contracts to the ZK folks, transitioning into ZK vendors. So that along with everything else in life has taken a little bit longer. We were accepting until mid to end of October applications, and really excited about some of our returning folks and new additions. So that's ZK news. We'll probably start kicking off the collecting of designers who are attending so that we can start the KAL in the new year. And away we go. Yep, 2017 is upon us. It is upon us.
Certainly is.
Thanksgiving is next week, and
yeah, can't even get over that. Yeah, we don't really want to travel anywhere, so that means hosting.
Yep, it's 5 of us and 20 million of them down in Southwest Iowa, so we always end up heading down to Southwest Iowa.
Yep. We have enough that we're in between the two that it's like, yeah, we could probably make that work. Because it's either all of us moving up north or then coming in the middle. So, and I know that we're going up north for Christmas, so maybe trying to make them come down for one of the holidays would be all right. But yeah, that's all.
Look at this. I had a Chaz on my lap the whole time.
You did?
I told him that I'm not trying. I know he's grieving as well, but he really needed to step up the cuteness game, and he apparently has taken it to heart. He's not a sit behind and come approach from. He's more of a lap cat.
Well, and when you told him that, he did make a face. I was a little worried.
It was like,
he did. Whoa.
Cuteness game? I'm cute, just sitting on the floor off camera. Like, they should just feel it through the camera, woman. But he's a good boy, aren't ya? Aren't you, Chaz? Yeah, he says Max was always the one that whined and got you to feed him supper. And so now he's kind of like, he doesn't know what to do. He super wants me to feed him, but he's kind of like, but I'm the chill cat. I'm not the naggy cat. I'm the chill
He's
one.
lost his identity.
Yeah, he wants me to just want to feed him without him nagging me.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. Nobody likes to be a nag.
Something's very interesting on the floor now.
Well, he's looking away.
Oh.
It's like, okay, why are you mentioning these things to all the, well, that and I was itching his. Anyway.
Bye.
Bye, Ufta.